Welcome back to FSU Weather. This is the first Tuesday show of 2024. Let's get into it. These warm temperatures here in the Tallahassee area. Currently, we're looking at 66 degrees over Doak Campbell Stadium. Mostly cloudy. That is exactly true as the sky is covered by those clouds. Wind coming in from the east at 7 miles per hour. Let's look at those warm temperatures across the region. 66 here in Tallahassee. Getting a little bit cooler down by the coast. Apalachicola, 63 degrees. We will see that temperature very close to our dew points here, 58 in Tallahassee, because it is quite humid. The humidity goes up the closer the dew point is to the temperature. For rain, we will be seeing some spotty showers come into the region. You'll see that in the green, covering Tallahassee. But what else will we cover on the show? Well, it's the first Tuesday show. We'll be traveling to Crater Lake National Park, and a little bit about the NFL, a freezing game just a couple weeks ago, as well as a multi-day flood threat. All that and more on FSU Weather.
Good evening. I'm student meteorologist Summer Trolley.
And I'm student meteorologist Josh Mulley. Welcome to our first ever Tuesday show of 2024.
Yes, that is right, Josh. And we have a full show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about the warm weather that we have right now. And also that rain. It looks like there's going to be some rain coming to our area, right, Josh?
Oh yeah, especially for those who are going to either fly out of Tallahassee or just drive out for the AMS conference. Either way, it's going to be interesting for those who are traveling.
That's right. I know I'm going to the AMS conference, and I assume you are too.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to watch those travel recommendations this weekend with that rain coming through.
Yeah. So let's first get started with Tallahassee with Genevieve.
Yeah, thank you, Josh and Summer. Rain is a theme that we will be seeing across today's show. For now in Tallahassee, we are clear though, 66 degrees, as I said just a little bit ago, with those clouds blanketing the sky. Preferably, these are temperatures that I like, but seeming as we had quite winter conditions, and it is winter just this past week. Maybe this is a little warm for most people. Current local radar in the past 3 hours, we've seen these showers approach Tallahassee and go through the rest of the Panhandle and down even into Cross City. Current temperatures for the region, we're looking at into the lower and upper 60s. Cool spot is going to be up in Thomasville, actually. So 61 degrees, nothing too crazy. We are looking at temperatures that are far above normal. So that's 60 degrees at the end of January, maybe not what we are used to. Our high for today was 67, 10 degrees close to our low, which was 57, which I mentioned before is that high degree of humidity once those dew points, as you see behind me, are close to those temperatures. So 58 here in Tallahassee, 57 down by the coast in Apalachicola. For the next few hours and into tomorrow, we'll see these showers come through the area. And so you want to make sure you have an umbrella in your backpack or you stay home. That's always the wise choice to do. For tonight, if you are thinking about heading out, like I said, grab that umbrella, stay in your car, be safe. Make sure to look at the forecast for wherever you are heading because rain is possible. Tonight's forecast will drop down to 62, so not too far from where we are right now. And tomorrow we'll get right on up to 77 degrees. Mostly cloudy though, so we'll have a little bit of cloud cover. Tomorrow's forecast, we'll see that 78 degrees. Down by the coast, a little bit cooler, that sea breeze, 67 degrees. And for the week ahead, we'll see that hot spot, 77 on Wednesday. Get down to 72 on Thursday, and we'll see those 70s into the weekend until Sunday, 63 degrees. We're getting a little bit colder. We're seeing closer to, I would say, fall conditions rather than winter that we are in January. And we'll see 60s all the way through until, like I said, start to get a little bit cooler. But for Florida, the rest of the state, how are we looking, Josh?
Thank you so much. So right now we're cloudy all across the state. Although it is looking gorgeous, especially in Panama City. Orlando's looking nice, even though that camera is tilted. You can still see that the moon is starting to show. And all around, we're seeing warm temperatures, especially 75 at Tampa, 75 also in Miami. The only cool spot would be Panama City at 66, but even 66 is not bad at all. Currently across the state, we are seeing temperatures going from the mid to upper 70s in the south, cooling down to the low 60s in the north, with our cool spot being 61 in Jacksonville and Pensacola. So as we go across the state, we'll start off with Miami. We're going to see this throughout the rest of the state, but 80s across in Miami, wow, that's very much like spring temperatures, maybe even low summer temperatures, but that's impressive nonetheless. Nice weather. We'll be cloudy tomorrow, but it'll start to clear up a bit for Thursday and Friday. Then for Tampa, it's going to be the same story, as we will have partly cloudy skies all throughout the rest of the week, and we'll start to cool down a bit by Friday to get into 79 degrees. Orlando is going to be cooling down just barely, but nonetheless very, very nice to go outside. And actually, if you want to take a swim at either of the water parks like Aquatica or Volcano Bay, that would be perfect to go. I would say Jacksonville, it's going to be nice and warm up on Wednesday and Thursday, but Friday you're going to have a slight chance of showers. So if you're going to be flying out of Jacksonville Airport, make sure to factor in some time, or if you're just going to be driving through on I-95 or I-10, just factor in some time, as those roads can be very slippery. So take some extra time because it hasn't rained in a bit. Pensacola, however, is very different from the rest of the state because we'll first start to see some showers work its way in because of a warm front on Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday we'll start to see a cold front that's going to be powering through. So because of that, we will be having, you'll get some heavier showers on these 2 days alone, and it will start to cool down just barely on Friday. So if you're going to be if you're going to be in Pensacola or just driving through, make sure, regardless of when you're driving, to take your time, because the roads will be very slippery. I've been there. I've hydroplaned on I-10. It's not fun. You don't want to get into an accident, and believe me, an accident is the least, especially for college students, is the last thing you want on your mind, especially with final exams. Well, not even final exams, midterms, getting back into the groove, and for some of us, like myself included, just getting ready for graduation and getting through this last semester with the best grades possible. You don't want to get into an accident, so just take your time. Leave early if you need to, and if you feel like you're about to hydroplane, remember to turn into the skid. Don't try to turn out, otherwise your brakes will lock. And just turn into the skid. Just take your foot off the gas. Don't hit the brakes either, and just let the wheels just turn into the skid and relax. Other than that, you'll be good to go. And just, as I said, take your time. And if you see any standing water, turn around. Don't drown. Now, Summer, what's going on around the rest of the southeast?
Yeah, Josh, I love your saying, turn around, don't drown. That is going to be very prominent here in the southeast as I'm talking about it. As you can see, this rain is coming through here on our radar, bringing some slight showers to us. And again, this South Florida radar here, you can see, you get, again, spotty showers coming through the entire Florida coast here. And as we move up into our region, the Big Bend, again, that rain is coming through and bringing showers to our area for now. And traveling through Florida, you can see that it's going to be very warm this tonight in Florida. The Keys may be seeing some rain. And yeah, tomorrow in Florida, still seeing some warm temperatures. And here we go. This is what I've been looking for. New Orleans, 62 degrees. And then again, as you can see, throughout the entire southeast, it's fairly comfortable right now, but a little chilly and lots of clouds. This rain is coming through, and you can see this stationary front up here, which is bringing a lot of rain to New Orleans and Louisiana and up through Arkansas, as that high pressure is sitting over top of it. Currently in the southeast, you can see Tallahassee, we're sitting right here at 65 degrees. Again, it's fairly warm down here in South Florida, and really in all of Florida, it's fairly comfortable. And up as we get further to the north, it is obviously cooling down slightly. And you can see that wind is coming in. We're still in single digits here in Tallahassee and most of the southeast. But again, we can feel that breeze making it feel a little cooler. As we travel through the week to this week, we're going to see an increase in clouds and also a lot of rain coming through. As you can see, that rain is going to pass right through Tallahassee, up even through Georgia and even into South Carolina. The dew point is going to just stay around the 60-degree mark for Tallahassee. And again, throughout the rest of the southeast, we're going to be seeing some comfortable conditions, a little on the moist side as that rain is coming through, but overall really not bad. Charlotte the weekday forecast, as you can see, they're going to be seeing some rain and fairly comfortable temperatures. And again, through Nashville, again, they're going to see a lot of rain and fairly comfortable temperatures throughout the week. Tampa, as people are getting ready for Gasparilla, you can see it's going to be really warm. It's going to be a beautiful weekend down in Tampa. I highly suggest getting down there if you have the opportunity. New Orleans, again, very rainy, severe weather coming through possibly, and warm temperatures. So really, if you have a chance to get out to any of these locations this weekend, I would definitely get out and see what there is to offer, even though it may be raining. Josh, could you tell me what national park we're going to be looking at this weekend?
So for our America the Weatherful segment, this week we're actually going to Crater Lake National Park in Medford, Oregon. So with Crater Lake, it is one of the highest lakes at 1,943 feet. It's actually the deepest lake, and there's actually a volcano in the middle of the lake. But don't worry about it erupting. It's not active. It's in its dormant season, and it hasn't erupted even in 4,800 years. And also, it's one of the snowiest places inhabited in North America with an annual amount of 43 feet of snowfall. Now, currently today, we saw that we were around 43 degrees as our high, 40 as our low. So just below our high, but just slightly above our low. So we didn't see much of a change in temperatures today, mainly because we had a bunch of clouds over the area, so hence why there wasn't any increase in temperatures from this morning. But our average, we are nowhere near our record high or record low by any stance. But tonight, what's going to happen is we will see some rain coming in late tonight, and we will get up to 49 degrees. But overall, it won't be too bad of rain. However, you will want to keep your eyes open for tomorrow. Now, currently, right now, we'll see that west of Union Creek, we're in the mid to upper 50s, and then east of it, whereas there's more desert, most of the states in this area are going to be deserts, we're actually going to be cooler around our mid to upper 40s, especially our cool spot being 41 at Chemult, and our hot spot actually being at Roseburg at 59. So, as you see, dew points are showing very similar stories. We're getting up kind of near the dew points, not as close to it, but we're kind of working our way up there. So, again, east of Union Creek is going to be lower dew points than west of it, and that has to do with more so the terrain of the area. And then what we're seeing right now is we're seeing the radar and satellite is showing cloud cover all across the region. Then future radar. Tonight we're going to be seeing just some cloudy skies, but we'll see some rain work its way into early Wednesday morning and some snow as well. So regardless of where you're going, make sure to factor in extra time. And tomorrow and throughout the rest of the weekend, we'll just be seeing rainy conditions all around, maybe some snow. So now that we've had a good time with the National Parks segment, let's start balling with Summer and Genevieve.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. So let's head a little bit more east into Kansas City, where we saw quite a chilly game on January 13th.
That's right. It was really cold. I am lucky I was not there. I would really be freezing. So this was the coldest game in Chiefs and Dolphins history. It was about -4 degrees at kickoff, and the wind chill was -27. That really, really cold. Really cold.
Actually, it was the fourth coldest kickoff temperature in NFL history and the third coldest wind chill. So that takes in all the factors to make the temperature what it really feels like at kickoff.
That's right. And as you can see, Andy Reid, Kansas City's head coach, he actually had some ice in his mustache. It was that cold. It was freezing on impact.
Yeah, I just saw this picture just not too long ago here, and I let out a bit of a chuckle because I did not know that this was so possible.
That's right, and even Patrick Mahomes, his helmet cracked on impact from when the Dolphins hit him. Again, his helmet just cracked because it was that cold. His helmet felt so bitter, it just hit and broke.
Absolutely. Yeah, really cold game. When we get down below freezing, that's where I absolutely give in and give out. I am from Miami. I don't like that kind of weather at all. This past week has been quite tough on me, as you can imagine, but summer here is used to the cold temperatures.
Yeah, unfortunately, but not like -27 wind chill. Definitely not used to that. So this was actually the record for the coldest game ever was set on New Year's Eve by the Dallas Cowboys and Green Bay Packers. This was actually set in 1967, so very long ago before both of us were born, and it was known as the Ice Bowl.
Yeah, that ice bowl was a -14 degrees, and with all the factors coming in, came to a -48-degree wind chill. So, Josh, let's look at some other cold temperatures, but not as cold, and some rain. How's the National looking?
Okay, the National is actually looking a lot better than what we had last week, as we're now across the country feeling warmer conditions all around. Oh, so right now we're hanging around. The only places that are below freezing is Bismarck at 25. We're at freezing with 52 in Minneapolis, but we're working our way down into the 30s and 40s through 50s for the most part of our country. The hotspot being Miami at 76. Now, currently we are seeing dry conditions all across the country. Although, if you see where this boundary is, that's showing where there's a front that's currently there. That's mainly showing that's in the southeast. We do have some moist conditions that are near saturation. As you're seeing, going from Arkansas through northwestern Louisiana, Shreveport, and going into north of Houston, we are seeing some stronger rain working its way in, and going into eastern New York and in New England, we have snow. So make sure if you're in those areas, factor in some extra time, and also expect some delays in those areas as well. So the next few days, we're going to see most of our heavy rain be concentrated into the deep south, going from Jackson, Mississippi, through central Louisiana, and going into eastern Texas. So again, just make sure to be cautious and be weather aware, because you could have some chances of flooding, as we'll get into later this evening. So for our storm outlook, Houston is going to be mainly under the strongest warning, as we are right now under a marginal risk. Going out to Dallas and outward, you're under non-severe. So thunderstorms could occur, but not as severe as in Houston for today. Tomorrow, that risk expands out eastward towards Biloxi, Mississippi, New Orleans, and Lake Charles. So especially for Lake Charles and New Orleans, those are very low areas, and that's something to be very concerned about, considering that Lake Charles is low, and they're both below sea level. So that's something to be concerned about with flooding. New Orleans is not going to be escaping that marginal risk whatsoever. So we could have some chances for flooding as well. So you need to keep an eye out. But now all the risk is going to be shifting eastward. Tallahassee will be now under a non-severe risk. Not saying that nothing can happen, but the chances of that happening will be less likely than in other areas. As we see with the temperatures, we'll see much warmer conditions going to be in the Minneapolis corridor. We'll see colder conditions across the Florida Peninsula. And then tonight, we're mostly going to hang around above freezing, although some exceptions will be Minneapolis at 29, Bismarck at 22. Those will be slightly below freezing, so you might be under a freeze warning if you are in those regions. And then tomorrow, we will all make sure to stay above freezing, and we won't have to worry too much about any precipitation unless you are in. Some exceptions will be Boston and Chicago, and then the most likely severe weather you're going to have will be going from Memphis, stretching all the way through Houston, and including New Orleans. New Orleans especially would be my main area of concern, because it is below sea level. And if you're in that area, you could have a higher chance of flooding. So make sure, especially those in the southern Louisiana basin, be weather aware, and as I said earlier, turn around, don't drown if you see any floodwaters. But speaking of floodwaters, Summer, what's going on with flooding in the southeast?
Yes, Josh, we have a lot of chances for flooding this upcoming week in the southeast. We have some watches out right now. No warnings as of yet, but as you can see, this green color right here is showing all the watches. Most of Louisiana, Arkansas, and really a lot of Mississippi as well. You can see those watches that may get upgraded to warnings at some point, so you have to be aware of that. There's also this rainfall outlook. As you can see, there's a moderate risk for rain here, slight in the yellow, and again, that green is showing a marginal risk. So just be aware of that. There's going to be a lot of rain, and again, there is a chance for flooding in these areas. That rain is going to be pushing up north and further east on day 2. This outlook is extending a little bit into our northern areas with that rain they'll see up there in Tennessee area. And again, as we move further into the week on Thursday, you're going to see it stretching down here into the the western tip of Florida, and up again through Tennessee into almost the Pennsylvania region up there where I'm from. As you can see, this stationary front, this is what's really doing the trick for us here right now. You can see all that rain pushing through, and again, those other colors like yellows and such is where there's going to be the most amount of rain. And that's really just that driver for us here, that stationary front, bringing all this rain up through Arkansas in our southeast states. That rain's coming across there. As you can see, that is obviously going to bring an increase in cloud cover over the next few days. And as that rain is coming through, I would just be aware and make sure if you have to go out, bring an umbrella. If you have the option to stay in, it may be better, as there's going to be seeing a lot of rain. We'll get into the numbers a little later. As you can see, the drought, it may be a positive for them to get some rain in those counties there, as they are in some severe drought right now. But this rainfall forecast, as I was promised you guys numbers, you're going to see 7 inches in some areas, maybe even upwards of closer to 10 inches in some areas in these yellows and oranges. Really 5 inches in a lot of the counties there, and really just a lot of rain. So if you see some puddles and such, the big puddles, the flash flood safety is really, really important. You want to get to higher ground, and like Josh was saying, don't drive through a puddle. Don't drive into water. We really don't recommend it. You're not going to get out. Stay informed, so be aware. Make sure you're listening to your local weather station. Listen to the National Weather Service. Watch for the warnings coming out. If there's warnings coming out, try to stay inside. Do as they advise. If they advise you to stay inside, stay inside. If they advise you to, go out and just use caution, then go ahead and do that. But just, again, be aware, and you don't want to drive through a puddle. That's our biggest thing here. But we're going to switch it up from the rain a little bit. And can you tell me about the lifestyle, Genevieve?
Absolutely, Summer. You're talking about turn around, don't drown, which is a favorite here at FSU weather, and that holds true for all kinds of precipitation. I know here in Tallahassee we don't see snow all the time, though last week or this past week it kind of felt like we should have seen some, or at least we deserved it. Rain, we always want to be careful, be weather aware, and make sure to turn around and don't drown. But as for the Tallahassee area here, FSU Sportsplex, for some nice little IM games, we are looking dark and cloudy. FSU Panama City, I don't know if it's the camera, but we're getting a little bit of pink in the sky. Hopefully that is not the camera, and they're enjoying a nice little sunset. Also down by the coast in St. George, looking quite nice, and we are seeing that kind of fall, maybe even end of summer kind of conditions here. 66 degrees currently at the airport. We have that green plane, which means you are good to go. No delays here at Tallahassee International. And that'll hold true for the rest of the major airports across the country. We get that green plane, though we do have some colder temperatures up in the northeast at JFK. And if you are one of our friends that is maybe allergic to more things when you walk outside the door, you are in luck, because for today, we have low ratings for grass, weeds, and trees. So hopefully your walk to class wasn't too terrible. Someone else might be walking to class. No, they're going for a walk in the morning. Chase's dog here. 7 a.m. tomorrow will be 62 degrees, so a really nice temperature to get that dog out. But if you care to sleep in a little bit more, you're getting into the upper 60s. Men's basketball versus a chilly, chilly Syracuse. If you are traveling to see the game, which I don't know how many are because it is a Tuesday, it is tonight, so it's school night, but 32 degrees, freezing, and we have snow. That is maybe a Tallahassee native's dream to see snow, but not everyone's. So maybe you're happy that you're here in Tallahassee. Ranked number 23, women's basketball versus Duke. We are also getting out of town this Thursday in Durham, North Carolina, where we're seeing those similar conditions to here in Tallahassee at 68 degrees. Another similar condition is in Starkville, Mississippi, where on this Saturday, we'll be facing 64 degrees once we are against ASU for some men's tennis. Beach cam, I would not recommend heading out. That does not look too great in Shell Point Beach. 66 degrees right now, mostly sunny, though that may not hold true because I would say it's mostly cloudy. Winds coming in from the south at 6 miles per hour, not beach conditions. Tomorrow morning, those unlikely beach conditions persist as we get into the 60s, which are nice temperatures, though that rain is coming in the morning. FSU Sportsplex right now, 65 degrees. And as we look into the rest of our week, we are getting up into those 70 degrees and 60s for our lows. Now, Summer, locally, how are we looking?
Yes, locally, we are looking good right now. Cloudy, 66, comfortable here in Tallahassee. You can see our beautiful Doak Campbell Stadium on this side. That sun is trying to break through a little bit. We have winds out of the east at 7 miles per hour. And as our night progresses here, you're going to see some spotty showers coming through Tallahassee, up through Thomasville as well, and really across the Big Bend. That's just going to proceed through the night and into tomorrow morning. Tallahassee, we're sitting comfortably at 66 degrees right now, and really down by the coast, 63. Conditions here in the Big Bend really are fairly comfortable, I would say, mid-60s everywhere. That's a nice, maybe a light jacket, nothing crazy this time of year right now. And current dew points, Tallahassee here, 58, fairly comfortable, more on the moist side, but really not terrible for this time of year. Cloud coverage is going to increase through tomorrow and through the night as that rain is going to come through from that system we were talking about earlier. It's going to bring lots of clouds and rains, even some moderate rain up near Thomasville area into tomorrow and through the rest of the week. So again, showers early, 61 degrees, still an easterly wind of 7 miles per hour. 62 degrees tonight in Tallahassee, really, really comfortable. If you have the time to get out, take a light walk. You're going to only need a sweatshirt, hopefully, unless you get really, really cold. 60s throughout the entire board, as you can see here, fairly comfortable in our entire southeastern area right now. 77 tomorrow, mostly cloudy. We haven't seen a 7 in front in quite a while here in Tallahassee. There's going to be some wind, 11 miles per hour, but really nothing too concerning. And tomorrow, again, 78, really comfortable across this entire region. Upper 70s in most of our areas here, and closer to the coast are going to see a little bit of lower temperatures at 67 degrees for tomorrow. The week ahead, as you can see, we're going to be warming up quite a bit. So 77 tomorrow, 72 on Thursday, and really it's just going to increase until later in the weekend, starting really about Monday next week. We're going to drop in temperature a little bit. As you can see, those lows are getting down near 38 degrees. Really going to get quite chilly here in Tallahassee. Those storms are going to increase, the chance of storms this weekend, 70% chance on Friday and Saturday. That rain that we've been talking about this entire show, again, you really have to take caution in that. If you see a puddle, please don't drive through it. It's not going to be safe, and it'll be very damaging to you and your car. So please be aware of that throughout the weekend. As we progress into these storms, you're going to want to just take caution as best you can through this weather and just stay alert while you can. Josh and Genevieve, could you do me a favor, close out the show for us tonight?
Thank you so much, Summer. So as Summer has been saying, and how we've been saying all throughout the show, make sure to take your time, especially when driving through the rain. Even if it's not really big puddles, the roads can still be very slippery nonetheless as we're in our dry season. And it's probably even more slippery just because since it hasn't rained in a little while, the roads will there will still be oil on the roads, and oil and water don't mix. So because of that, it's going to be even more slippery. So just remember, take your time and don't turn around, don't drown.
Of course, Josh. And for your friends in the South, please try to connect with them, your family as well, by staying weather aware. And ways that you can do that is following us on Twitter and Facebook at FSU Weather, as well as...
You can watch us live on YouTube as you're doing right now on youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And feel free to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather, as well as TikTok. Please follow us on TikTok because we just posted a new video, so make sure to give us a like.
Yeah, I'll make sure to go check that out as soon as we're done. But anyhow, this is Josh Millay.
This is student meteorologist Genevieve Rejak. Have a great night.